While we get ready for season 22 of 5-Minute Biographies, join us for a 10-part special. Over 10 working days, we will present 10 biographies of fictional characters, but presented as if those characters were real, just for fun. I hope you enjoy them. This is episode 1. Sherlock Holmes. Renowned for his extraordinary powers of deduction, attention to detail, and eccentric personality, Sherlock Holmes is celebrated as the world's greatest detective. His influence has spanned generations, and his legacy continues to inspire admiration among both the public and professionals in the field of criminal investigation. Much of Sherlock Holmes's early life remains shrouded in mystery, though tantalising glimpses into his background have emerged over the years. Born in the mid-1800s in England, the exact date and location of his birth remain uncertain. Holmes hailed from a family of notable intellectual distinction. His elder brother, Mycroft Holmes, is described as possessing deductive abilities even greater than Sherlock's, although Mycroft prefers the theoretical over the practical. The Holmes family enjoyed comfortable means, as indicated by Mycroft's senior position within the British government and Sherlock's ability to pursue a sometimes sporadic career as a consulting detective without apparent financial pressure. Their ancestry suggests a lineage that values education and rational thought, providing fertile ground for Sherlock's own analytical brilliance. Sherlock Holmes displayed a wide-ranging intellectual curiosity from a young age. While details of his formal education are scarce, it is known that he attended university, possibly Cambridge, given certain references. During these formative years, Holmes refined his unique methods of observation and deduction. He engaged in chemical analysis, developed expertise in several scientific fields long before such disciplines were standard in police work, and cultivated skills in disguise and covert entry, always put to use in the pursuit of justice. Holmes described the science of deduction as the science of observation, of inference, and of knowledge, devoting countless hours in the laboratory to unravel the complexities of human behavior and criminal activity. His studies spanned anatomy, botany, geology, chemistry, and even music, all of which he would later employ to great effect in his detective work. After honing his remarkable abilities, Holmes established himself as the world's only consulting detective, a profession of his own invention. Operating from his famous rooms at 221B Baker Street, London, Holmes quickly attracted clients from all walks of life. Aristocrats, government officials, and police forces sought his services in cases that baffled ordinary investigators. Holmes's singular status was sealed by his success in a series of remarkable cases, chronicled by his close friend and companion, Dr. John H. Watson. Holmes's approach to detection revolutionized investigative work. He considered observation an art, noticing details that others overlooked and drawing conclusions from the slightest trace, whether a smudge of ash or a footprint in mud. He wrote a monograph on tobacco ash, catalogued criminal methodologies, and built a network of informants, including the Baker Street Irregulars, a group of resourceful street urchins who gathered intelligence from every corner of London. Holmes is perhaps as well known for his eccentricities and preference for isolation as for his intellect. Yet, his relationships, particularly with Dr. John Watson, form the emotional core of his life. Watson, a former military doctor who was wounded in the shoulder in Afghanistan, became Holmes's friend, chronicler, and frequent partner in investigation. Their partnership was one of deep trust, camaraderie, and mutual respect. Holmes's personal life was marked by emotional detachment and a tendency towards solitude, but he was not devoid of feeling. He deeply admired Irene Adler, the only woman known to have outwitted him, and he showed both compassion and respect to clients in distress. Holmes displayed little interest in romantic entanglements, believing they distracted from the precise thinking required for his work. Instead, his passions were devoted entirely to the pursuit of truth and justice. His relationship with his brother Mycroft was one of mutual respect and friendly rivalry. Mycroft's intelligence, described as even greater than Sherlock's, was matched only by his indolence, leading him to a comfortable post in Whitehall, where he influenced government policy from behind the scenes. Holmes's career was punctuated by a series of celebrated cases, many of which have become classics in the annals of criminal investigation. From the sinister hound haunting the moors in the Baskerville affair to the international intrigue of the Bruce Partington plans, Holmes confronted adversaries who tested his intellect to its limits. Among his most formidable opponents was Professor James Moriarty, the so-called Napoleon of crime, whose criminal genius rivaled Holmes's own. Their epic struggle culminated at the Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland, where both men reportedly plunged to their deaths, a moment that stunned the public. Holmes's subsequent reappearance in London, after a period spent in disguise and travel, marked a triumphant return to his life's work. Other memorable cases include the mysterious Speckled Band, the enigmatic Red-Headed League, the saga of the Sign of Four, and the study of a Scarlet Murder, all showcasing Holmes's extraordinary mind and unwavering commitment to justice. Holmes's methods set new standards in the field of detection. He advocated a rigorous adherence to logic and empirical evidence, dismissing intuition and guesswork as unreliable. His oft-quoted maxim, "When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth," encapsulates his core philosophy. Holmes maintained vast personal files on crimes, criminal types, and unusual cases, continuously updating his knowledge. He was an early adopter of advanced investigative techniques such as fingerprinting and chemical analysis, often outpacing official police in both expertise and results. Holmes's success owed as much to his encyclopedic learning as to his relentless pursuit of truth. While brilliant, Holmes was not infallible. On rare occasions, he made mistakes, usually when personal feelings interfered with his judgment or when he underestimated his adversaries. Nevertheless, his record remains unparalleled in the history of detection. Away from crime solving, Holmes was an accomplished violinist, often using music as a form of emotional release. He also excelled at boxing, fencing, and single-stick fighting, skills that frequently proved useful in dangerous situations. His eccentricities extended to his domestic habits. Holmes was notorious for conducting chemical experiments in his sitting room, for firing bullets into his wall in the shape of a VR for Victoria Regina, and for occasional periods of melancholia or intense abstraction. Holmes's use of cocaine has been the subject of much discussion. He occasionally resorted to a 7% solution during periods of boredom, a habit frowned upon even in his own era, and one that Dr. Watson persistently tried to curb. Holmes justified its use as a means of staving off ennui when not engaged in cases. Ultimately, the demands of his work and the friendship of Watson helped him abandon the habit. Sherlock Holmes eventually withdrew from active detective work, retiring to a small farm in Sussex, where he took up beekeeping. There, he wrote a monograph on apiculture, demonstrating that his powers of observation could be applied to any field of inquiry. Nevertheless, Holmes remained available for consultation in particularly challenging cases and, on occasion, assisted the government in matters of national security. In retirement, Holmes maintained a keen interest in international affairs and continued to influence the world of criminal investigation. His legacy was already secure, having inspired generations of detectives across the globe. Sherlock Holmes's influence extends far beyond his own era. He has inspired countless adaptations, studies, and reimaginings across every medium, from stage and screen to radio and video games. Holmes is credited with popularizing scientific methods in criminal investigation and shaping the modern expectations of what a detective should be. Statues, museums, and societies dedicated to Holmes can be found around the world, particularly in London, where 221B Baker Street remains a site of pilgrimage for admirers. The Baker Street Irregulars, once his group of street informants, gave rise to a society devoted to the discussion and study of his adventures. Holmes's phrases, such as "elementary, my dear Watson," have entered everyday language and are recognized globally. Holmes's life and methods have inspired a myriad of portrayals and tributes. He has been depicted in numerous plays, films, and television series, each interpretation offering a unique perspective on his extraordinary abilities. Holmes's influence has reached beyond fiction, shaping the practices and philosophies of detectives, forensic scientists, and even psychologists. Countless individuals have written to Baker Street seeking his advice and expertise. Holmes has become synonymous with rational inquiry, critical thinking, and the power of attentive observation. The legacy of Sherlock Holmes is, at its core, a testament to brilliance, eccentricity, and enduring relevance. Through his life and work, Holmes demonstrated the power of the human mind to solve even the most intractable mysteries, provided one observed with care and reasoned with clarity. His partnership with Watson, his battles with Moriarty, and his unwavering pursuit of truth have inspired generations. More than a century since his first investigations, Sherlock Holmes remains the world's most celebrated detective, a symbol of the universal quest for justice and understanding. Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Biographies podcast from 5minutebiographies.com. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, or if you would like to support us more directly, why not consider buying us a coffee? Head on over to 5minutebiographies.com/coffee to see how. Also, why not check out our other 5-minute podcasts, which you can find at 5minuteproductions.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.